Greetings, Geralt. Remember me? We met in White Orchard. I helped you find Yennefer. It seems you need my help again. Do you want my help? It's a deal.
Hearts of Stone is the first expansion for The Witcher 3, and it set the bar high, like way up in space. Putting on Geralt's wolf medallion again, you'll have an extra 10 hours of intricate side quests, monster hunting, and romance to sacrifice your life to. Although I got way more. You'll battle a giant frog, get entangled in political assassinations, dance at a wedding, craft new gear, explore new lands, and play more Gwent. What? Oh yeah, the review. Okay. So the first thing I noticed about Hearts of Stone is how well it's written. The base game had some of the best writing I've ever seen in a video game, but the expansion is seriously a step above. The dialogue is really clever. It's witty and it's funny and it flows beautifully, so conversations always evolve naturally and keep you invested. Characters are written beautifully and drive the narrative forward with complex and personal motives. Olgierd is an evil bastard who I can't help but love, and I really do come to understand him as his story unravels. It's also such a treat to have Shani back. I thought Shani's character in the first game was really different from a character in the books, so it's nice to have an accurate representation of her again. Although I still appreciated the nod to the first game when you get to perform another autopsy with her. And part of me is glad that she isn't a romance option in the main game, because I'd have an even harder time choosing who Geralt should end up with if she was added to the mix. That being said, her romance quest in the expansion is a little lackluster. It's a great story, until she pulls the old video game, "We've banged, now we're going to act like it never happened." Romance with Triss or Yen was so rewarding because your relationship didn't end as soon as you'd had sex. Where a romance with Yen feels like an actual relationship, a romance with Shani feels like a quest for sex. But honestly, this is the only point in the entire expansion where I can point out a weakness in the writing. Otherwise, it's phenomenally good. But it's like the quest designers also got 10 times better since Wild Hunt. On paper, there are only a handful of quests in Hearts of Stone, but every one of them has such an intricate and exciting progression. I was never ever bored in the main quest. Actually, I was on the edge of my seat with my mind blown at how good the story was the whole time. Hearts of Stone has a lot of great gameplay elements, but by far its strongest addition to the Witcher world is its story that just keeps racing along with huge variety and suspense. Speaking of great gameplay elements, Hearts of Stone adds new armor and weapon enhancements, a new set of Witcher gear that is really fucking sexy, new locations, new Gwent cards, and new boss fights. I pretty quickly over-leveled in the base game, so not many of the big monsters were a huge challenge for me. But Hearts of Stone is crammed full of new boss fights, and each of them feels unique. The giant frog needs totally different tactics than the army of nightmarish spectres, and these fight differently than the mage you can choose to take on. These fights keep the gameplay interesting and keep returning players challenged. The new locations aren't actually all new areas of land. For the most part, the developers have taken parts of the world that didn't have anything significant in them and filled them with backstory. This is a really cool way of expanding a game because it makes it feel like you still have something to learn in a world you've come to know really well. Don't get me wrong, I can't tell you how excited I am to explore a new city in the second expansion, but for a story closer to home, this is a really smart way to make Velen still feel relevant after nearly 200 hours of inhabiting it. This is what makes Hearts of Stone a worthy expansion to one of the biggest RPGs of the year. It creates new characters, locations, and items and makes us believe that they all existed in the world before we met them. Nothing in the expansion feels like it just popped up out of nowhere. Hearts of Stone is an amazing expansion in every sense of the word. Narrative, gameplay, world building, and the amount of my life I've willingly sacrificed to this game. CD Projekt Red have set a high benchmark for themselves, and I can't wait to see what they do for the next one.
Ooh, a mystery. I adore mysteries. Till later, Witcher.